So good day everyone. So this video is all about my reflection about the biographical sketches of Jose P. Rizal. So before I start, I will introduce myself first. I am Princess Journey Libres from BA to B. A hero is somebody who does great and bold things for other individuals without being required to do them. A hero is somebody who contains a solid sense of equity and goodness and acts upon that sense. A hero ought to not look for notoriety for the purpose of it. They accept in a cause and they protect and defend it. A hero is somebody others can depend on, not to be taken care of, but as somebody who is there to assist and help. The hero that I am talking about is none other than Jose Rizal. Let us know more about his biography and all. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Realonda was his name. He was born in Calamba, Laguna on Wednesday, June 19, 1861. He was born with the Chinese zodiac sign of Ox. Jose Rizal was born under the sign of the twins Gemini in Western astrology. Jose Rizal is gentle, caring soul who is reasonable, optimistic, full of common sense, and who has his feet firmly placed on the earth. He is a hard worker who approaches their work with original intelligence and reflective thought, working tirelessly, patiently, and methodically. He is contradictory, very enigmatic, and well-known. He could communicate in 22 different languages. Rizal became a skilled swordsman, a skilled pistolero, and had a flute, his favorite musical instrument. Jose Rizal was a prolific writer who created a wide range of works. Rizal was terminated as a child because he had a large head, was a skinny child, and had a fragile body. He was in his early adolescent years when he started doing athletics to improve his image. He did it for his personal growth as well as to attract the attentions of women. He became a jack of all trades and master of all. All of his fears are finally dispelled. He grew in stature as he grew older. His emotional intelligence improved dramatically as well, but before overcoming those obstacles, he was bullied. Despite this, he valiantly faced it and drew strength of motivation from it. It was Jose Rizal's first name, which means market. Francisco Mercado II, Jose Rizal's father, was born to Juan. When his father died, Francisco Mercado II was just 8 years old. When someone has the surname Mercado, there is no prejudice against Chinese name. Jose Rizal's maternal great-grandfather is a Japanese Catholic who settled in the Philippines. Eugenia Orsua's name is Eugenia Orsua. There will be an adoption of Jose Rizal's parents' new surname. In 1850, Don Francisco Mercado changed his surname to Rizal. Rizal is derived from the Spanish word rizal, which means green field or fresh pasture, according to Zaid 1981-6. Jose Rizal grew up in a well-educated family. His father attended the Colegio de San Jose in Manila, while his mother attended the Colegio de Santa Rosa in Quezon City. The Principalia belonged to this family. Don Francisco is a wealthy landowner and sugar plantation owner. Doña Teodora had an influence on Jose Rizal's intellectual development. Don Francisco was a lieutenant at Hacienda. Rice, corn, and sugar can be grown in their property. They also ran a sugar mill, a wheat mill, and a ham press from scratch. The Rizal's family is one of Calamba's wealthiest family. 11 siblings, 9 daughters and 2 sons were born to Don Francisco and Doña Teodora. Jose Rizal was the youngest of 7 siblings. Jose Rizal's first instructor was his mother, who taught him to read, pray, and encouraged him to create a poetry. Before he was assigned to a private school in Binyan, Rizal was taught Spanish and Latin by private tutors. Rizal enrolled in Ateneo Municipal de Manila when he was 11 years. Philosophical, physics, chemistry, and natural history were among his strongest interests. He studied novels, authorized prize-winning poetry, and practiced sketching, painting, and clay modeling at this school, all of which he pursued throughout his life. Rizal graduated from the Ateneo Municipal with a degree in land surveying and assessment while studying philosophy and letters at the University of Santo Tomas. Rizal chose ophthalmology at the UST Faculty of Medicine and Surgery after learning that his mother was going blind. He was unable to complete the course, however, since adversaries among the academics and clergy. In May 1882, Rizal traveled to Europe without the knowledge of his parents. Augustine, Rizal's biographer, writes, to avoid persecution, he had to flee his homeland as a fugitive from justice in order to receive a better education, and his family was forced to claim ignorance of his plans and movements in order to avoid being persecuted. Pasiano had gone to Manila, pretending to be seeking for a brother whom he had aided out of the country, and his name has been put into Santo Tomas at the start of the new term, with the feast paid. At the Universidad Central de Madrid, Rizal got a licentiate in medicine and studied philosophy and literature. He came up with the idea for Noli Me Tangere while in Madrid. He also studied at the University of Paris and graduated from the University of Heidelberg with a degree in ophthalmology in 1887. Two more Masons, Jose Centeno, Io Garcia, and Benigno Quezzo, held significant government roles during this time. On February 3, 1888, Jose Rizal left the Philippines for the second time. He carried 5,000 in earnings from his medical practice with him. He was still sick when he boarded the Zafiro at Manila, and he was terribly seasick during the journey. He went to numerous prefectures and stated that Japan would eventually become an industrial country. He mastered Nihongo and studied Japanese theater during his time in Japan. Rizal landed in San Francisco on April 28, 1887, after departing Japan on April 13, 1888. He admired the United States' technological advancements, but he despised discrimination towards Asian and African. He was offended by several states' prohibitions and interracial marriage. Jose Rizal set out from Europe in May 16, 1888, and arrived in England on May 24 from May 1888 to March 1889. He lived in London to strengthen his English language skills. "I'm not in a horrible place," he wrote to his family in the Philippines in June 1888. Jose Rizal was able to publish a number of pieces for La Solidaridad in support of Filipino against criticism. He continued his correspondence with Blumentritt and his relative while writing the letter addressed to the young woman of Malolos. Rizal departed London in March 19, 1889, and stayed in Paris until January 28, 1890. His annotated editions of Marga's Successes was released during his stay in Paris. His work with the La Solidaridad in Brussels continued unabated. Rizal learned that his family had been expelled from the Calamba estates in the Dominican Republic. Don Francisco and Dua Teodora were ejected from their residence. The settlement of Calamba was burned to the ground, leaving 300 families landless and destitute. Jose Rizal was promoted to Master Mason of Grand Orient Lodge Solidaridad No. 58 in Madrid. In Dagupan, Pangasinan, Leonora Rivera married Charles Henry, keeping in employ of the Manila Railroad Company. He printed the book section by section, month by month, because he didn't have much money. He never received the funds he had hoped for the propaganda committee or from home. El Filibuster's Tonometang Hero chronicles the exploits of Evra's alter persona. The reader is made aware of the level of corruption and unfairness in society through Semo's extensive network of relationship. The Rizal family was able to locate a home. They were seized by the Masonic Committee Propaganda. William Pryor and Robert Fraser Smith, the Hong Kong Telegraph's editor-in-chief, were among his buddies. Governor June 21, 1892, Jose Rizal flew from Hong Kong to Manila for his anti-religious and anti-government campaign. He was charged in secret. He was accused of taking Pobres Frailes pamphlets as proof from the wealthy Dominican friars with him. Governor General Eulogy deported Rizal and board the well-guarded SS Cebu at midnight on July 14, 1892. The discovery of a packet of leaflet named Pobres Frailes in his luggage and Lucius pillowcase was suggested as the explanation. On September 21, 1892, the mail boat Butuan arrived in Dapitan with lottery number 9736, which was jointly owned by Captain Ernesto Dr. Rizal and Francisco Aguilar. The Manila lottery ticket was for 20,000. In celebration of his discovery of the first specimen, Jose Rizal identified 3 animals previously unknown to scientists. June 21, 1893, seeking Rizal's assistance from the Katipunan. Rizal was said to be against the idea to save him from the Pitan. Rizal's exile had a long-lasting political ramification in northern Mindanao, particularly in Cagayan, where he saw the seeds of resistance against Spanish injustice. Rizal rejected the Katipunan's plot to rescue him from the Pitan. Jose Rizal set off for Barcelona on the SS Isla de Panay on September 3, 1896. He was deported to Manila as a prisoner after arriving in Barcelona. By torturing several Filipino nationalists, the Spanish were able to obtain evidence against him. Jose Rizal was charged with the 3 crimes: sedition, rebellion, and illegal association. He was sentenced to death by musketry and fined 100,000 for any civil liabilities from the crime for which he was found guilty. On December 30, 1896, at the Bagumbayan, 8 Macabebes soldiers shot Jose Rizal to death. He refused to be blinded, killed, or shot in the rear because he asked for his head to be spared. He was shot near his heart. Rizal instilled as the will to resist the regressive waste of life that existed of the Philippines during the Spanish occupation. Because Jose P. Rizal was considered a convicted felon, no public open requirement masses were offered for his soul. Trinidad Rizal, Jose Rizal's sister, claims there is no paperwork proving he was a non-Mason. The retraction, according to Codes 1882, was committed by Vicente Balaguer. None of the clerics could persuade him to retract, according to Vow 1997. According to Codes, Rizal may have written the Ultimo Adios to dispute an attempt to fabricate an eyewitness account of his final hours. Jose Rizal and Josephine Bracken were married canonically between 6 and 6:15 a.m. on December 30, 1896, according to Balaguer. Jose Rizal is a professional and wealthy man. He had many accomplishments and achievements when he was alive. But what he has done is all memorable. In terms of Jose Rizal, I can see myself seeing him soon, thought not as wealthy as he is. It is simply all that I can reflect on myself as a successful educator one day. Jose Rizal deserves to be an inspiration to everyone, not because he gave his life to save his people, but because he was a successful man who should be a role model to everyone. Jose Rizal has accomplished a great deal for his family, life, and himself. As college students, we face a lot of challenges. The reason for this occurring is that we are in a pandemic right now. We are facing this coronavirus that can cause everyone's death. Because of this virus, we should start a new school platform which is online class and modular learning. However, we are strong enough to face this kind of dilemma. Jose Rizal is one of my motivations in my studies because he is strong and brave enough to face anything in terms of problems. He became my inspirations for my studies to keep myself motivated so that one day I could be like him, a professional and successful. Because of this type of learning, we should be motivated to make our future secure, even though we are in this situation right now. That quote from Jose Rizal says about that, ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. In English, the youth is the hope of our future. The quote from him, I'll make sure to prove is true one day.